It's the news that has sent shockwaves through golf. Jon Rahm, Masters champion and one of the best players in the world, has announced he is leaving the PGA Tour to join LIV Golf.
Yeah, Rahm is reportedly being paid upwards of £450 million to move to the Saudi-backed league, and says he was attracted by the team format and the prospect of growing the game.
I think the innovation and the vision of LIV Golf is what pushed me over to at least give it a chance and hear the pitch out, and ultimately ended up being what I guess I wanted to hear, right? I believe in the growth of the game of golf. I've largely spoken about how Seve improved the game of golf in Spain, and I've always said how I would like to do the same thing over there. And if I can reach a bigger audience, it would be amazing. And I do believe this process will help me do that. Even though it's not part of this sport, it is now, though. It was the team aspect of things, right? Some of the biggest sporting events, for the most part, people are following their teams. And I myself, growing up being a massive Athletic Bilbao fan, I realized that, that has a bit of an appeal.
The defection of Masters champion comes at a time when Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour are attempting to thrash out the details of an alliance. With an initial deadline of December the 31st, Rahm confirmed news of his switch exclusively to Fox News.
Well, since news of a potential merger between LIV, the PGA and the DP World Tours, the number of professional golfers switching allegiances has slowed down. On May the 31st last year, we got the first golfers officially announced. That was after months of speculation. The biggest name, Dustin Johnson, also the likes of Sergio Garcia, Louis Oosthuizen, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood.
He was long associated with the LIV Golf project, and Phil Mickelson finally ended his break from the sport to join the tour on June the 6th, 2022.
Yeah, more big names followed. Less than a week later, the 2020 US Open champion Bryson DeChambeau also joined.
He was followed on June the 21st by Brooks Koepka, who went on to become the first LIV golfer to win a major when he took the PGA Championship the following year to take his total to 5.
And then little over a month after winning the Open Championship, Australia's Cameron Smith announced that he would be joining LIV. That was on August the 30th, 2022. Rahm has been a long-term target for LIV, but speaking before last year's US Open, he said that he had no interest in the format and that the money would be meaningless to him.
To be honest, part of the format is not really appealing to me. Shotgun 3 days to me is not a golf tournament, no cut. It's that simple. I want to play against the best in the world in a format that's been going on for hundreds of years, right? So that's what I want to see. And yeah, money is great, but when Kelly and I, this first thing happened, we started talking about it. We're like, will our lifestyle change if I got 400 million? No, it will not change one bit.
Someone that plays on the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour, it's disappointing. Someone that's played on 3 Ryder Cup teams with Jon, Jon is going to be in Bethpage in 2025. So, because of this decision, we're going to, the European Tour are going to have to rewrite the rules for Ryder Cup eligibility. Absolutely. There's no question about that. I certainly want Jon Rahm on the next Ryder Cup team. And yeah, I'm going to miss competing against him week in and week out. He's such a good player. He's got so much talent. He's so tenacious. He's a great teammate in the Ryder Cup. I have nothing but good things to say about Jon. I respect the hell out of him as a golfer, and he seems like he wants to live his life the right way. He wants to be a good dad. He wants to be a good husband. And look, you can't judge someone for. I guess, the thing that I realized is you can't judge someone for making a decision that they feel is the best thing for them. Is it disappointing to me? Yes. But, the landscape of golf changed on June 6th, whenever the framework agreement was announced. And I think because of that, it made the jump from PGA Tour to LIV a little bit easier for guys.
Another of Rahm's Ryder Cup teammates, Justin Rose, admits it's a major blow for the PGA Tour and fears more players could now make the switch.
Jon's a huge coup for LIV, obviously, and a huge blow for the PGA Tour. And, you know, it definitely comes at a very interesting time when I think there's a lot of negotiations happening at the moment, right? I think we know that there's some type of 31st of December deadline amongst talks between PGA Tour and whoever it may be, you know, potential investors into the tour, and, you know, merger talks and all these things that I think are quite confusing for people from the outside looking in about why this is all kind of going down. But yeah, so you can look at it both ways, that maybe things are not going well on one side of things, and the recruiting is starting pretty hard again on that. So yeah, it's obviously it's a big statement and a big news, and yeah, tough for the PGA Tour to lose Rambo for sure.
I think if there was ever a person to go across, it'd probably be him. Just because he's got, you know, at least the next 5 years of majors. He's got Augusta for the rest of his life, and then his US Open. I'm not sure how long the exemption is, if it's 5 or 10 years, but like he's in the majors for the next 5 years. I think if there was someone that was a good candidate, it would probably be him. And I understand that some guys do it for the money, and majority of the time it is for the money, which I have no problem with.
Now, this might be bad luck rather than bad spelling, but in teasing the imminent announcement of Jon Rahm, LIV put out this word search on X last night with his name hidden. We've circled it, and as you can see, they spelt John incorrectly with a H. As we say, it could be bad luck, but it also spells out the name Johnson, which could be a reference to Dustin Johnson, of course.
Yeah, quite hard to see that, isn't it? You know, it's just about there, Johnson.
You know, the PGA Tour and the DP World, they're certainly superior products, I feel. But the landscape of sport is changing, and if there is a place for this sort of team golf and these franchises and all the things that they talk about, you know, we'll just have to give it time and wait and see. And you know, if team golf works, then maybe it works. But you know, my opinion now is there's only one great team event in golf, and it's the Ryder Cup, and that's never going to change. But if the public want some more team competition, then you know, you have to cater for what the public demands.
His decision doesn't affect me necessarily, but it'll be interesting to kind of see how things continue to play out. You know, timelines of things with, you know, the deal deadline being end of the year. It's hard to really think that goes through, just with the timing of it and how much would have to get done between now and then. Ultimately, down the road, division isn't a good thing. So, you know, I'm hopeful things will continue to work in the right direction for the greater the game. But what that is, I don't know.
Not everyone has been as diplomatic as Fowler. Former professional Brandel Chambly says it's a purely financial decision.
The stark contrast to what he said in the past, what he has intimated a great many times in the past with what he said today, it's clearly that it was more convenient for him to do this. It's also clear that he sold his career out. If it's 300 million or 400 million, or I heard you say 560 million earlier, I would still say he short-sighted himself, because he did sell his career for, I think, half the price that it would ultimately be worth. You know, Rory McIlroy is worth $1 billion or close to it. Tiger Woods is worth $1 billion or close to it.
I never quite bought into the fact that he was ruling it out entirely. He made a lot of comments about not being convinced by the format and things like that, but he always kind of left himself that wiggle room. He's always been close to Sergio Garcia, obviously, fellow countryman who joined the LIV Tour, and there was always that get out. And I think the fact that he has joined now is a short-term move to, I think, put some pressure on the PGA Tour and LIV to produce a deal.
It's massive. It's a real warning shot by LIV and Saudi Arabia to say, look, we're at a table, we're talking about a merger, but if it doesn't come off, we'll take all your best players. So it really is a kind of a signal that, you know, let's get back to the table, let's thrash this out, because there are suggestions that PGA are looking at other investors to bring money in and maybe not go full in with LIV. Well, this is LIV's message, isn't it? It's like, well, if that's what you want to do, fine, go your own way, but all the best.